Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the RangerRob Country Living Podcast. This is episode 74, and we got a full house today, except Amy. She, like I said, we'll probably see her in a few weeks. But we have a very exciting show because this show is based on another show. Because I was watching Appalachia Homestead, and she got me riled up, and I thought, that's a really good subject, and so I wanted to talk about the Great Depression today and how it could affect us. So, but before we do that, I want to get everybody introduced. There's the invisible John, and there's John and Debbie from J&D Pig Hobby Homestead, and we got John Pearson. We don't know where he's from, over in Eugene, Oregon, and then we got Reb, and we know he's from North Carolina. But we have to ask ourselves, where is he? Question is, where is Reb today? Could he be in America? Could he be in another country or another state? Let's find out.
Another universe.
So is he right? Are you in a different universe today?
No, I'm not in a different. I'm in the same plane of existence.
Oh, okay.
That we all are. I do believe anyway. I don't know about the West Coaster sometime, but I think we're all on the same.
Well, who's that guy on the side with a gun at your head?
That's my security.
Oh,
yeah, it's okay. You'll see him randomly. It's fine.
So where is Rev today?
Where is Rev? Get your guesses in.
I think he's in Atlanta.
Think he's in Atlanta? What makes you say that?
I think he's in his hometown.
I think he's in North Carolina. I don't think he's at home.
You at home?
Nope, he's not at home.
I give up. Where you
at?
Give
up? No, you don't even fathom a guess. I am in the great state of Virginia today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right on.
I thought about giving you guys hints, but I know that you guys just break out your phones and Google it. So what's the point of that? But I'm in Richmond, Virginia today.
Wow.
Nice.
All right. Well, while we're at it, does anybody have shout outs today?
I miss Amy.
Yep. Definitely miss Amy. Her cute little smiles and her goats.
Her wisdom.
Yep.
I'm going to give a quick shout out to my wife. Otherwise, I'd be watching from the living room couch.
Yay, Mindy.
Yay, Mindy.
Yay. Actually, before I start any more shout outs, I got to remind everybody that this is an audio podcast too. So if you listen to podcasts on your cell phone, just whatever software you're using, go into the search, put RangerRob Country Living Podcast, and you should be able to find our podcast. It's out on all kinds of platforms. And of course, make us your favorites and check out all of our 74 episodes. Also, we are on the new radio station, Crooked River Ranch Radio, and we play on Sundays at 8 o'clock, and all of our episodes on there too. We only play one episode a week, of course. But anyway, and then next week, I wanted to let everybody know that we have a very special guest, along with all the great people already here. We got two guests, actually. John Smith, we invited, but Morgan Gold from Goldshaw Farm will be with us. So we've had him on the show once before, and it was a lot of fun. And don't be surprised if we run a little bit late, but because he's a fascinating person to talk to. So anyway, next week we'll have Goldshaw Farms, and we'll also have the Arizona Small Town Tourist show by John Smith. He'll be with us too, and he's excited to meet Morgan. So it'll be a good show. Going back to shout outs. Yes, I have two. Does anybody else have any? Did I get everybody?
No, shout out to the people that make airbags. My sister and her husband were in an accident a couple weeks ago. And
Oh.
without airbags, they probably wouldn't be with us. And instead, she's got like a hurt foot, and he's got like a couple minor injuries. So shout out to whoever who invented airbags. Debbie, I know it was you.
Thank you, Jesus, for making them safe.
Yeah.
Probably John Pearson built them.
Yeah, he's smart enough. You think?
Now, as you guys probably caught on with our videos, we had some sad news this week.
Oh man.
I wanted to do a shout out to Terrebonne Veterinarian Hospital. We had Cinder join join the clouds. Anyway, they handled it really well. Made her comfortable, real pleasant. It was a worst experience that anybody ever has, but they made the situation very personable, and I really appreciate that. So, and so anyway, Terrebonne Terrebonne Veterinarian Hospital, you guys did a good job. And then, second of all, I got a story to tell you for this shout out, and I'm going to switch over and see. Oh, is it Larks? I figure out who's that.
Homesteadish.
Yeah, he talks about deployed air. The smart one here programs the cards that deploys the airbags. I'll let her know. So that's not see.
There you go.
So last Monday, the same day that we lost Cinder, we had to load 3 live pigs into a trailer. And on our videos, I was warning everybody.
How'd that go, Rob?
Well, let me tell my story. So, we knew it was going to be probably a challenge. So we did what we did with the vet. And so we were kind of already having a bummed out day. We really weren't in the mood to deal with these pigs. So it had to get them done. So we get them all. We used perimeter fencing. We herd the little 3 pigs that we want in there, which weren't so little.
Not at all.
And we tried to get the pigs into it. And we went, it was getting to a point. It's like we're screaming, and it's like we're out there probably a good hour and a half before we actually asked for help. So I get on the phone. I go, John and Debbie going, help, we need help. And so, you got great friends when they were over in probably 15, 20 minutes or so. And they came over and looking at our scenario going, crap. So anyway, we got this little utility trailer. We built like a little bit of a hill for them to kind of get up into the trailer easy. John brought over a little platform we could use to try to help get the pigs on there. And I also called the people who are processing my pigs, and I told them, we're having trouble getting the pigs in. We might be late. And she made this little suggestion. She goes, oh, well, try putting a bucket on their head and back them into the trailer. And it's like, what? I'm thinking, well, I've seen Annie. You guys all know my famous Annie always escapes all the time. Right. Well, she comes around with a feeder and she puts her head in the bucket and she gets her head stuck. And so it's kind of cute and funny, but she backs up when she does that. So I'm going, whoa, maybe that'll work. So we got a 5-gallon bucket at first. And one of the smaller of the pigs, not too much smaller, we put over the head and we backed it into the trailer and it worked.
You gotta be kidding me.
No.
So
we had to do some really hard pushing, but we got her in there.
Yeah. So then one pig, his head was too big to get the bucket over. So we took one of those rubber feeders that you can kind of fold around his head a little bit and pushed and it worked and it backed up. But there's definitely it was like playing football or it was like a wrestling match. And the funny part is John was in the trailer with the one pig that was already in there.
The 2 pigs.
Well, the number grew as it went, but so once the little pigs are in there and they realize that they can't get out because John's blocking the door, he's getting the hell beat out of them with these pigs trying to
Stop
get
calling
out.
these pigs little, because they are not little.
No, they all weighed over 250 pounds. What's the loaded weight?
Hanging weight.
Hanging weight.
It was
Anyway, so
definitely a fight.
then we get up to 2 pigs, and John's doing like this fancy dance and trying to get these big pigs to get in between his legs and trying to
They
get
were trying
out
to
while
jump
we're trying to
over.
get. And then one tried to climb over. That was like scary, and John's like, "Roar, stopping it!" And it's like, I wish I could have got video of it, but I was too busy
Oh my
wrestling with the
gosh.
third pig.
And
So
they
anyway,
put
we
John out.
actually got like the third pig in, and then we could hardly get John out, and closed the door quickly, and we're all just sitting around going, ready to have heart attacks because it is a wrestling match. So I do not recommend. I mean, you're going to have to do it eventually, but I've got to change our process when it comes to loading pigs in a trailer. But thanks to John and Debbie, we get the pigs in. And by the way, when I delivered them, so much easier.
Oh yeah, just open the door.
Just open the door. Yep. So yeah, that was quite the adventure, and I want to thank John. So my shout outs for John and Debbie for saving us. And we got lots of happy gardeners here, and Andrew, and and then Larks.
Hi.
And yeah, so we got people popping in, and you just missed my pig story. But anyway, so the pigs are at, they called me the next day. Hanging weights were actually impressive for being a little bit younger than my last ones. Hey, Jack. So anyway.
So what were
Bedtime
they?
story.
You didn't tell
So,
me
yeah,
what the pig weight was.
That was quite
Over 250.
Huh?
He didn't hear what you said. They were all over 250.
Yeah, I mean, the average was 250, and I was surprised because they were a month younger than the pigs took in the week before.
So that's what they were from the second batch of pigs.
These were.
I'm curious what ours are, because we came from the second batch, and they're huge.
Yeah.
Hulk and Jake, they're just enormous.
They were from the first batch,
They're
and
from
they're
the first
huge.
batch, and they still got another month to go.
A month and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have some big ones.
Yeah, I think they're going to weigh out closer to 3.
And I'm still questioning whether my 2 pigs are even pregnant or not. I just not sure for sure. I'm gonna wait about 2 more weeks. They should show by then. But
So I should expect to be going out to dinner in about 2 weeks, then, Rob. So
when I deliver. Yeah.
Oh, this time I get to catch. You get to keep them back.
Oh, good.
I get to catch.
Yes. So John and Debbie were also my delivering people. The last batch of piglets I did with Maggie. So yeah. So you're automatically like, I'm gonna put a beeper on you and just call you.
Speed dial. Speed dial.
It's time. It's time.
Yep.
Hey, real quick, I did want to mention one thing. One shout out to the sexiest T-shirt I've ever seen in a long time that Debbie's wearing. Get some, girl. What?
I did.
I'll get some.
Just for Brad.
I appreciate y'all.
Mine's still in the truck.
I can get my shirts, and I'm 20 pounds away. I'm working on it before I can wear it. but I'm working on it.
Well, even if I wasn't guessing, all I had left.
No. Hey, I Debbie, thank you for sending it. Rev, thank you.
You're more than welcome.
That's amazing, because my oldest boy, he saw that shirt and he was like, ooh. You know, and hey, whoa! I'm only 20 pounds away from wearing it. No, that's nice. And Debbie, it looks fantastic on you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I
Rob's lost.
no, I was like, I'm going to talk about some of the things going on, you guys, as a homestead, but I think I want to get on the subject a little bit. is I was watching Appalachia Homestead, and she was talking about whether people would be able to handle today's generation would even be able to handle what happened in the Depression of 1929. And it wasn't just the fact that it's like a recession or anything or something's going to happen. I mean, we know we're getting there close to a recession, which could go into depression. She's like saying, if it goes deeper, even to what it was then, or even worse, I don't think a lot of even preppers, sorry, are prepared for it. And she was bringing up things that was like, oh my gosh, because the Depression, as you guys probably know already, lasted over 10 years. So think about, so, and I mean, where people didn't have jobs, lost their homes, living in tents, all that kind of, and so you get down to the nitty gritty and you're just like, oh, do you have 10 years worth of underwear? Do you have 10 years worth of shirts or pants or shoes or anything like that? Because if it's that bad and manufacturing and sales and the stores aren't even being supplied, and we're all having just a financial crisis, is like, this could be more serious than you even think about. Now, all of us at Prep, I'm going, oh yeah, I got a case of Crest toothpaste. So, but we're talking 10 years. That ain't enough to do it. So it's like, there's some things in for sure that you might want to think about is if we had something that sustained that long, and it could even be longer, are there certain things in life that definitely you should build up on? Like for women, they want menstrual cycle stuff, or maybe prescriptions. You might want to have at least a little more than a year or so, or toothbrush. You can use the same toothbrush.
You learn to cope.
Yeah.
That doesn't get you nowhere.
Oh yeah, it does.
It would be
so when you got holes in the front of your underwear, you just turn them around, right?
There you go.
There you
And
go.
I just went downsized on my shoes.
Isn't that a good thing?
No, it hurt.
So anyway, it was like, so and it's kind of scary, but there's a lot of things that I think preppers and all of this, that if you wanted to try to be a little bit more prepared, what are some of the real critical things that didn't seem so critical? If it's only for a couple of months that you're inconvenienced, no biggie, right? But if you're inconvenienced for years, are there certain things you just know you're going to want, and maybe you ought to change your prep plan a little bit of, at least some of the necessities of life, or the toothbrush or toothpaste or soap or things like that, instead of just having a couple months worth. You might want to go a little bit far. The biblical Animal Farm, he said he also saw that video too. Anyway, I was, I've heard her talk before, and it was kind of extreme, but the reality of it is, what if that really happens? We go into a depression, and the impact of fuel and food and supplies and jobs, and whether if you have a mortgage on a house and you can't afford it, we're all going to start getting, because evictions were big in 1929. People were out in the street that, you're taking your family into a tent, and hopefully maybe you could go to a farm area and work for somebody who grows a little food or something. But have you really thought about that? And are there just some things that, do you wait and say, okay, we are going into a depression, and at the last minute really stock up on the extra socks and underwear, or do you prep a little earlier than that? Do you think it's ridiculous of thinking that we could have that happen? It's not impossible, obviously. So I don't know. I wanted to hear you guys' thoughts on that.
Well,
anybody?
First off, the things that have happened in the last, let's just say 2 years, I would have never thought could have happened ever. So the fact that we're having this conversation, and I think, could that possibly happen? Could the banks have a total collapse? What happens to the mortgage people who have mortgages, me included, if the banks collapse? The only thing I know for sure is Mindy has 10 years worth of shoes. There's no problem there. But outside of that, and I mean, if purses are a necessity, we're golden. But yet, in all seriousness, though, that's, we're kind of tiptoeing around times that we all have never seen. We've heard about, we've read about, but we've never seen times like these.
Yeah,
and
because
things
I
are
think
so expensive right now for some people to get stocked up with that much stuff. They just can't do it.
No.
Oh, yeah.
They can't.
And by the way, the other comment she was making, and we were talking about it a little bit, is the importance of a community. And second, anybody that was alive during the Depression was 100 years ago, close to 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And if those who might still be alive from that time were probably just children. So we're losing the knowledge.
They still collect because of that. And just think of people that have kids. How do you have 10 years worth of stuff for kids? They grow out of them so fast.
Exactly.
That's just it. It definitely changes your ideas of prepping. When you think, hey, we need to make sure we have plenty of fresh water. I can't store 10 years of fresh water.
No.
So you're going to definitely have to change your thought long term, and some of the previous episodes come into play. Bartering. What are you going to do? How are you going to prepare yourself to barter with other people for things that are necessities?
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid of those people in North Carolina wanting to move back west.
Back west.
I'm worried about Rev.
What the hell?
Nobody has ever said back west anytime in history.
Oh,
no, there was.
Over there, Rob. Over there.
There. Yeah.
It's kind of like Wagons East, I guess.
Yeah, Wagons East. Because I can see Rev, where's Rev? He's at our house.
No, I'd be just like you guys. I got a ton of friends who all say, "I'm coming to your house." I'd be like, "I don't know if you are, buddy." You know what I mean? I don't. But what you're talking about there, it's circumstances play such a big role in that. You know what I mean? Who's to say? And like John says, they're going to kick everybody out of their houses in America that have mortgages. You know what I mean? If so, you're going to have some problems in places. You know what I mean? But circumstances is what would really play a big, because everybody likes to say, I could do it. You know what I mean? I could do it. But it's going to be, there's a lot more people in this country now than there was back then. You know what I mean?
Right.
And some of them, are not the greatest people in the world. You know what I mean? And you're going to have to deal with those people, so there's a lot of variables here. You know what I mean? And that's what it would come down to. You know what I mean? Luck.
Yeah.
I think that would play a lot into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And back in the day, you could trust your neighbor. Where nowadays it's hard. It's hard to trust people.
And a lot more people back then could homestead. The percentage of the population back then could homestead than per se than now. You know what I mean? That's a problem. You know what I mean? And a lot of people made it then that wouldn't make it now. You know what I mean? In my opinion, anyway.
Right.
Yeah, and a lot of skills one thing we hear, Amy, when she's on the show, she's telling us about things that she's sewing. And it's how often do you hear that anybody sews anymore?
Right.
Anyway, that would solve some of the problems we just brought up on a long time.
Yeah, Debbie knows how to sew.
Sure he does too. He's
There you
many
go.
years
I
ago.
just don't like doing it.
No, most people don't.
Yeah.
But yeah,
My underwear will be fine.
John, you already have to
sewing underwear.
We're,
Who are you
I was
kidding?
so worried. I was so worried.
I am not sewing your underwear. Not happening.
Oh, come on, babe.
Nope. Not
I'll do
happening.
it
Nope.
for you.
Where
Go right ahead.
at least we got a spare shirt from Rev.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come out with a new line.
Yeah.
I figure once you're tired of wearing it as a shirt, you can change it into a pair of underwear.
You know, by any means necessary. You know, that's
That's
what I
right.
say,
It's like
you know
the
what
problem is, where do you put the logo?
I mean? Yeah,
Right on your ass.
yeah. That's where it fits there. I think. Yeah.
Oh my! But yeah, it's like I know, and it's I guess John, you kind of brought it up a little bit. Is like it's incomprehensible that we're thinking like this, but with the type of news that we're getting, is all very similar. If you do some research on the Great Depression, this is all the same kind of news. It's like people like, well, it's never going to happen. It's like it's happened before. And these are the same, like when it comes to like Nazi and all that stuff, socialism, fascism, all that stuff. All those same words were blurted out back in 1940s and back in 1929 and onward. The same things that they're talking about in banks today were going on then. So
Right.
it's history's replaying itself. It's just it's going to play out a little different, but there's some serious stuff going on. And I think last week we were talking about the digital dollar, and it's like it's like I don't think we can even comprehend what it could be like. And anyway, I don't know what we didn't hear much from the hobby farm people other than John's underwear. How do you think you'd make out in the Depression time?
It's gonna be
well,
hard.
right now we're making a sustainable farm. Basically, we have chickens, rabbits. All of them are having babies. Pigs. They're all having babies. We're pretty much food-wise, we're sustainable.
That, and I'd learn how to can.
And there's plenty of wildlife around here.
Yeah.
Especially going across our property for some reason.
Well,
Yeah, but but the thing is like, even though I've been working on sustainable and all that stuff too, but if it gets worse, where, I mean, literally, if you did research on and watched even videos and documentaries about the Depression, there's people literally, all their stuff was out on the street because they were getting kicked out of their houses because the mortgage or couldn't pay the rent.
yeah.
What's that?
Most of the farmers survived that didn't get hit by the Dust Bowl.
Yeah.
Read the comment, honey.
That's because they had something to offer.
There you go.
And that's something else. Like, okay, for me, example. So I'm an electrician. Rev does refrigeration. Those are things that you're always going to need to keep something cold, and you're always going to need to have lights on or something going like that. I have a trade. Rev has a trade that you could barter down the road, but
Yeah, no.
John's going commando. Get some, John. Yeah, really. What? But my thought
I
is,
can neither confirm or deny. I have a lock on my gate and something else.
What the hell?
but I feel bad though for the people, the secretaries, the administrators, the people like that what are they going to do?
Well, even with like the semiconductors, they're going to go away.
It's absolutely possible. And the thing is if you have a trade or a skill set is one thing, but you know what? I'm coming in.
Healthcare.
Coming through our shop and all that kind of stuff, I see kids and young people that are lost as far as what they're going to do, where, you know, and all that kind of stuff.
Heck, I'm a qualified diesel mechanic, so
There you go.
I got a job.
I'm in nursing. So, I mean, it's like there are some people out there, but not the young people.
Yeah.
I'm
that
skilled
have
at
not
blinding
gone
pigs.
through enough to get a career.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, if the shit hits the fan, that's the whole thing. It's a, like the whole scenario, Rob, that you're talking about, you know, versus, you know, prepping for, you know, 1 to 12 months is one thing, but beyond that, like you said, the depression lasting 10 years, I don't think anybody's prepared for that.
Yeah, you have to have help. You have to have help. You know,
What?
You have to be in a good situation.
You know what's another thing is the older people that can't, like me. They told me you shouldn't go back underneath the truck and start working again. But yet I can go out and train people.
Sure.
Because I have the knowledge, especially on the older trucks. Once the EMP hits and everybody's electronic vehicles go down, they're going to have to make all these old trucks work. Guess what? Hey.
Yeah, all I'm going to say, so what are points? Remember as
I
kids?
just feel for the younger people that don't have the skill set as we learned when we were young. They just don't do that these days.
Not even close.
Yeah.
You know.
Biblical
And,
has it absolutely correct. There's no other way of getting around it or surviving without community.
And that was my next statement is you have to have a community where you trust everybody there. Like our little community we have here. It's small, but we know at any point in time we can call one another and say, hey, I need some help. And
especially if you can't load your pigs.
There. Exactly. Or
bring all your pig buckets.
Or your chickens.
And by the way, I have a dilemma over here. So I've had to buy extra freezers, and I had 2 of my pig deals. I won't go into details or anything, but I lost on 2 pig deals, and I lost almost $3,000. But I got all these pigs that didn't get purchased. I bought back, and so now I've got way too much pork in storage. So I have a very happy family because we're going to get some pork here. But I feel like I've been a really good prepper because now I've got probably after the next 3 pigs come back, they're all USDA, so I can sell those. But I can't sell the ones before, and so I've got 700-800 pounds of pork.
Well, you know, if everything hits the fan, guess what goes away?
Yeah,
the regulation that says you have to have.
Right. Well, if I can keep the electricity on somehow and keep those freezers going, I get something to barter with.
You better believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be a rich man then.
Well, I don't know if it'd be rich, but
yeah, you would. With all that pork, yeah, you would.
I wouldn't be hungry, and yeah, I could trade a turkey, some pork. I can't even trade pork with John and Debbie for a turkey because
you can.
Well, they got these beautiful turkeys, and they won't even offer them to us.
What the hell? One is for you, one is for Amy, one's for his son, one's for Thanksgiving. What are you talking about?
I keep hearing about all these things that changed in the. I say I may not have a turkey anymore. She hasn't told me. But
one of those turkeys are yours. It's not staying here.
If this keeps up, I'm gonna have to take you guys out for more than just dinner. Because they offer to watch our animals.
You're taking my parents too.
That's right. I offered the whole family.
Why you need friends so they can take your parents out to eat.
That's right. So we got a deal going. So I got all that extra meat. I'm
You
going to
might be
take
glutton for
2 pigs up
punishment.
to Washington State and disperse them amongst family up there. And so I needed a couple of days to have someone watch my animals. So, of course, John and Debbie are bailing me out of trouble. So, but they said, well, you can take us to dinner. I'm going, that's not enough for that. He's like, you need more. So we added the whole family. So you get your mother and father in. I said, I'll take them all out.
I think you're glutton for punishment having my parents come, because you know what they're going to talk about.
Her parents are sweet. So
is get your fifth wheel ready to go camping.
Well, I know if I could find someone to volunteer to come over and help me take the canopy off.
Don't even talk to me. We went over there. He calls up, can you come over and help? We get over there, he has it full of crap.
Well, and then of course when you guys come over, we gotta have coffee, we gotta talk, go show the pigs. By the time we're all done doing that, we're going, it's too late to do the canopy.
Yeah, I think we were over there 5 hours before you even looked in the back.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna call this the Washington Pork Barrel Project. I like that idea. Let's see, but I'm reading the comments. Sorry. But I'm going to agree to have the community that you count on, friends. Yep. The only problem is with the community thing is if I'm true about the mortgages and all that stuff, because even if you're good on mortgage and you're trying your best and you can't access your money or anything like that, you're going to lose your house. And all of us are going to be shuffling. So we're all going to live in John and Debbie's backyard.
Well,
big enough.
Have 10 years of ammunition.
Bring the motor home.
In North Carolina, there can bring us some grass.
Yeah, would you?
At least I could do. Least I could do.
Even Mr. Eugene can bring some grass.
Mindy's out mowing right now.
Well, tell her to bag it up and send it over here.
All right.
Get some seeds or something maybe that'll grow.
One of the things I was saying with the prep material is like, even though with my prepping is no way that I would go leave my premises. I feel like I'm too old to be hitting the road and trying to hike down a highway and all that stuff, unless it was like a nuclear explosion over in Eugene, Oregon, and the the remnants are coming over here. Then I'd have to hit the road and stuff. But I don't really have backpacks and things like that. Now I'm thinking, well, maybe you should have some kind of knapsack or something. In case you you lose your house and you're living in a tent, you need to haul some things off.
Don't forget the coolers.
And don't forget the coolers, yeah, because in fact,
5 of them.
While we're on the show here, I have to borrow, see if I can borrow John and Debbie's coolers on top of the coolers I got in a couple of weekends, so I can take all that pork up to Washington. So,
yep, for you.
I know. Let's see what else we got here. Happy Gardener. Everyone needs to know their skill sets and place. That's right. John's place is to make sure he gets plenty of underwear.
And I'm not sewing them.
There's some heavy typing going on over here. Check this out. So I have to get these on the screen because Rev and John can't see these because you're on your cell phones, right?
They sure
I can't. Yeah, I can't see.
So let's say on the point of young people, they've taken the shop out in the school. Yeah, I know. Do they even have shop in school anymore?
Nope.
They took that and music out.
They also took
And
electronic
drama.
shop.
I used to love shop, man.
Me too.
Yeah.
Shoot, I pretty much lived in the electronic shop.
Yeah, I always wondered how, it's like we get these lawnmowers. They say we're going to disassemble the engine and put it back together. I didn't quite get that because I always had bolts left over. And so I didn't go in the shop.
No, you did it right because you had parts left over.
That's right.
I like the wood shop. That's what I always signed up for.
Yep.
They shouldn't have put that parts there to begin with. Rob was doing them a favor.
So that screw didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I miss those days.
Yeah.
You guys remember I don't know. I want to find out if I was the only one. When you guys took driver's ed in school, did you have to?
Never
Did
did.
you ever take that where you took the driving and you literally were watching a movie on a screen, pretending you're driving a car? Did you remember that?
I didn't.
Oh,
I never had to do that.
oh my
No,
God!
me neither.
I don't know how in the hell they could have scored you on that. But anyway, I just remember the first time we took a driver's ed course in school, in high school, and a movie screen projector, and you had steering wheels and brakes and stuff, and you actually interacted with the movie. And it's like, there's no way that could have worked.
Nope, never did that. I was a rebel. I just went out on the street and drove.
And then I remember when we went for rides in the car, in the test car, and the guy grabs your foot to keep you from being able to put the brake on, and does like, you don't have brakes. How are you going to stop? And I thought it was pretty easy. You just hit the guy. But you're supposed to hit your emergency brake. Anyway, but yeah, those are the two things I remember back then.
You don't have brakes.
What, hit the emergency brake?
Yeah, if you don't have brakes.
Because it's a wire and not
Hydraulic.
Yeah, I should have took the class.
Well, that explains your driving. What are we doing for time here, guys? So before I want to get back to the homesteads a little bit too. I understand somebody here has brand new baby bunnies.
Woo!
Who could that be?
First time owner of baby bunnies.
And so tell us a little bit about your baby bunnies.
So I freaked out because for some reason my animals don't like to be hatched or born on the day that they're supposed to. So I called little Audrey the next day. They were supposed to be born on the 9th. So I called her freaking out. I don't have kits yet. And my other baby that I got from her started pulling her hair out. So I'm all freaking out. Because I got the mama pulling her hair out 3 days before she had the babies. And then Audrey got a hold of her friend that supposedly knows more about bunnies than she does, which I think is impossible. But thought they might have had mites or something. So I had to go out and take pictures. Nope, that wasn't it. The other one had, I guess, a false pregnancy, which I don't know how. They're not even 6 months old yet.
Pains.
That's what I think. But anyway, so on the 11th, I went out there in the morning, and there they were. 6 big, fat babies.
I think we could change the name of your farm to Twisted Hobby Farms.
I like that. That fits me just perfectly.
Or JD Twisted Homestead.
Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Your name will be in it, honey.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're officially up to 5 new coops. Is that right?
Yes.
Wow. Yes.
So any more in the future?
No.
Maybe.
No. I got a barn to work on.
I don't think we need any more. Now we got to get the barn ready.
Every time I come over to visit, it's like we get to visit all the animals. We get to visit Debbie and your brother. Your brother.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's always John in the background pounding on something, trying to build your coops. We never get to visit with him.
Don't even think I don't help. My job is the painting and holding nails and holding the boards up.
I don't know if I want to hold a nail for John.
I don't.
He doesn't change his underwear.
He doesn't know when people is around him, and he's very dangerous. So I
got bonked with a board.
Yep, it's still bruised. Yeah, he's not aware of nothing around him.
I won't try to say that it happened on purpose.
Well, it better not have. That would be called for getting back. Which might be fun. Anyways, yeah. So no, I don't think we need any more because I have it. So I have my silkies in one and turkeys in one, and the Red Rangers in the other, and my rocks in the other. So, because I didn't want them all together.
Yeah, and of course you introduced us all to these meat bird Red Rangers, and I can't believe the amount of food and water they eat. It's
Ridiculous.
incredible. I've never. I mean, I'm going through. First
pounds
of all,
a day?
chicken feed is the most expensive thing out there, and I'm going through it as fast as I'm going through hog feed.
Yeah, I give them, I think it's 6 pounds a day.
It's insane.
Because
And
3 in the morning and they wipe it out. So I give them
And-
3 in the afternoon, and that and water too.
Mr. Pearson, yours are still in the brooder, right?
Well, they're still in the brooder, but you know what? You know the standard feed scoop. If you really hit it with a heavy scoop, you're going to be at about 4 pounds or something like that. My little birds, they're a week and a day old. They are 1 full scoop in the morning and 1 full scoop in the evening, and they're a week old.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what they're going to be eating here shortly.
And you got the Cornish cross, right?
Right.
And those are a little bit smaller birds to be eating that much.
Yeah, it's insane. And I've got 2-gallon feeders or water, 2 1-gallon water deals in there, and they go through. At this stage, they go through 2 gallons of water in 2 days. So they're right now. But these things are this big.
Yeah.
They've doubled in size.
What are ours?
Hers goes through
But they are
5 gallons in a day.
That's just one of them. I got 2
Yeah.
in there.
In
You
the
know those
feeder.
metal water feeders?
Yeah.
I have one of those. Plus, I have a 6
5
gallon.
Yeah, 6
6
gallons.
gallon. And they go through them a day.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, I got to get to work.
No way.
About time.
Yeah, I'm working overnight tonight.
Oh.
The store is closed and it's time for Rev, right?
Yeah. Now the real show starts, right?
Well, thank you for the shirt again.
No problem.
Yes,
No
thank you very
problem. I'll see
much.
you guys next week.
All right.
Alrighty.
Oregon loves you.
Goodbye, Internet. Carolina loves you.
Send grass. Oh my God.
So yeah, they do. They go through the food. The other, what's weird is the other birds do not go through that much, even though there's less of them per cage. When you add it up, they don't even go near as what those ones do.
Yeah. No, it's insane. And Rob, I watched your video of you moving your meat birds into to outside. The actual feet of those birds are huge.
Yeah,
They are.
and they've got claws. I mean, I didn't know they had pretty sharp little claws.
What
But
are
if you don't,
5 weeks, 6 weeks, 5 weeks?
what are they, Debbie?
I have to look on my spreadsheet. So yeah, about 5 weeks.
Yeah, they're in huge. Those are huge.
You know what's weird about these birds too that I noticed, maybe you have too, Robin, is their body is like round and meaty.
They have no neck.
No necks, and their legs are short too, but it's all body compared to a regular chicken.
Yeah, and to me, it's just kind of like I've always had Rhode Island Reds, so I'm just so used to how they are, and so to me, these birds are just odd to me, and they're amazing. But they're stout, they grow, they're active. They're not. I mean, I've never had a Cornish cross, so I don't know. I'd like to. I'm excited to hear once you get past birding into of what John Pearson says about them, his Cornish crosses. But are they sluggish? Are they slow? Because these aren't. These are very active birds, very strong birds.
Run everywhere.
Run and fly and get up on the roosting things already. I mean, it's just crazy. And they're friendly. Mine are very friendly. I can walk up to bed any of them.
I'll tell you one thing: when you have an empty feeder or water, and you start filling it up and then putting it back into the cage, 24
They're
little
nuts.
birds just attack you.
Yeah.
Not mean, but I mean, all they're trying to do is get food, but they're very aggressive. But I mean, they're not trying to hurt you. They're trying to get to the feed.
Yeah.
And you put
It's
that
just
thing,
like
you know,
a
you
swarm
put,
of bees.
yeah, you put that thing down on the ground, and your hands and everything are covered with birds going, I want some, I want some. Those crazy birds.
Yeah, she's got the biggest bowl for their feed.
Mhm.
I mean, it's the bottom of one of those big feeders, just the bottom part. She slips that thing in there, and you cannot see it.
Yeah.
And birds attack that
Well,
food.
I have
Yes.
that. I have that, and then I have one that sits on the wall, a regular bird feeder. And I put the feed in that first so I can get them over there to attack that so I can fill the other one and do the water.
Yeah.
And they'll
But yeah.
completely empty it probably in about an hour.
I don't even think that long.
Completely empty
Yeah.
that whole feed thing.
So, how old are your birds, John, Mr. Pearson?
They're just a week in a day.
Oh, so you
Little-
still got a ways to go.
Yeah, I got a long ways about. I was wondering, what are you guys doing feed wise as far as time with feed versus time without feed? Do you remove the feed at a certain point? Because like at 3 weeks, they say 3 to 4 weeks, they say the Cornish cross, you feed them as much as they want for 12 hours, but then it's 12 hours off. Otherwise, they do get sluggish and they'll eat themselves to death.
So the Red Rangers are not like the
They're a
Cornish
dual
cross.
purpose
You
bird.
can feed them just like you do any other chicken.
That's what I'm doing. So
So
I feed mine.
I usually feed them in the morning, of course, and then about 4 o'clock, I will give them another scoop. And then after that, I don't give them any more.
I
'Cause
give all mine their food in the morning, and I actually don't do a second. But I give them like 5 scoops in the morning, and that lasts all day long.
Are your birds doing good outside, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, I got a heat lamp in there, but I mean, it's still pretty open, and I was kind of worried about it, but we were trying to harden them up before so we shut off the lights in the shop a couple of days, and actually went through the night with no lights. So by the time they got out there, probably having that little light now, it feels pretty good to them.
They're fully feathered now.
Yep.
So
And actually, probably in I'd say another 2 weeks, I'll stop with the light.
oh no, it's gonna be sooner than that. They don't even need it now.
Yeah, I kind of.
So,
Except we had a couple of cold days. Last 2 days, I'm kind of glad I had it on, but
Yeah.
but if it was like today's that kind of mild, they would have been fine without a light. But just being cautious.
Yeah, that's what I am too. But I think within the next 3 days, because I think it's supposed to start warming up. Well, we don't know. I know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't expect this, what we had yesterday. I mean, John, it downpoured hell. I mean, size of a pea. And it was like 2 inches.
It is so depressing. It's so
it is. Especially when you think it's over.
it's 7 o'clock. Indy's outside because she just needs to be outside. She said, well, I'm going to mow if I'm going to be outside. And the grass is growing well, but good God, this too much rain this year.
Yeah, well, the thing is, day before we were out all day working out in the yard and doing whatever, and I got up the next morning, it's like the ground is snow, and it's like it wasn't even on the damn weather report. It's like, what the hell? So yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Oh, 2 of us are from Eastern Oregon and 1 are from Western Oregon. So, the Happy Gardener was saying, guys put a part of Eastern Washington was 19 degrees last night.
Woo! Gosh.
So yeah,
Okay, I won't say no more.
We had a little frost this morning and yesterday. I think it's supposed to be kind of cool tomorrow morning, but it's not. It's not horrible.
Yeah, it warms up pretty quickly in the morning.
You got 5 minutes, Rob.
Yeah, It's 69 in my house. Let's just
What?
What?
I'm not liking you right now.
in my house.
Oh, in your house.
Yeah.
Didn't catch that part. I just heard the number.
No.
I think one of the things I want to also let you guys know, we had the news about Cinder.
Yeah.
The last part I wanted to follow up on was Belle, our German Shepherd. I've really never noticed my dogs in the past and stuff like that be affected so much, but Belle, she's definitely missing Cinder. She's 3 years old, so she was a puppy, 3 years with Cinder, and it's kind of interesting to kind of see a very peppy dog, which is a German Shepherd, go to a little bit sluggish and a little bit sleepy, kind of and confused. So I don't know. I'd love to hear people watch the show.
Friend.
Yeah, but since she was a kind of a follower of her, little things like when you watch her videos, you'll notice in the past that Cinder was always the lead dog, even though she'd outrun Cinder in a minute. But Cinder led everything, and so you can see her kind of processing when you like open the door. It's like, oh, she always wants to wait for Cinder because Cinder will say, when we go. Well, now she's making decisions like when do we eat and when do we, all these little things. You can see her trying to process all of her decision making because she's now the top dog.
Yeah, you'll notice the change when you get that puppy there.
Yeah. So is for a lot of people, we have a new family member joining our family Saturday. And so I'm not going to reveal what kind of dog or anything like that, but this dog was actually ordered a month and a half ago. So it was like not based on, we just didn't immediately the timing just was weird. But anyway, I can tell you one thing, Belle needs this puppy really bad. And because she's definitely just out of place. She just doesn't know how she goes through the day through the different processes without the lead dog. And I'm sure that she'd fill in, over time, but it's really sad to watch. But she's doing all right. She's sitting right in the office here. So anyway, but it's interesting to watch that process. So yeah, so she's going to have her whole life's going to change in about 2 days. So we'll share on our videos and also the growth and the change and everybody changing the processes and it's too damn quiet around here. Like, everything around this household is out of sorts because Cinder's gone, and you didn't realize how much of an impact she was. Got it. And but
1 minute.
1 minute, got it. But yeah, so this whole household, it's amazing how it's been affected by this change. But she was the one that we feel the worst about because she doesn't know how to express what's going on. I was watching a video today, some archives, and it had Cinder barking in it, and all of a sudden she was up and looking around, and it's like, oh, I'm breaking her heart. So, but anyway, guys, we got to wrap the show up. So I want to thank all you guys. We had kind of well-rounded subjects today, and and thank everybody that was watching in the chat. Make sure if you watch the show after the live, please leave comments and let us know what's going on and what you'd like us to talk about. But next week, look for Goldshaw Farms is going to be on the show, and that should be a fun show. We might actually plan on going a little bit longer, depends on how the conversations go. We go for an hour, but last time we had him on the show, we went for an hour and a half. But anyway, looking forward to it, and we're going to have John Smith from Small Town Tourist also. So anyway, guys, thank all the hosts for being here, and look forward to next week. It should be exciting with Goldshaw here. And I want to thank everybody for the support this week for our problems here and helping us get our pigs processed. And so our community is stronger than ever, and I'm very grateful. So Anyway, guys, have a nice evening. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Oh, yeah.
This video is made possible by RangerRob Poopy Bags, available in Amazon right now. Thank you very much for watching our video. Please take the time to like, subscribe, and share our videos all over the whole wide world. Thanks.